Hrithik was the first one who called us after seeing the film in 2007. Get a call from an unknown number. Hello, and hi, I'm Hrithik. I just saw the film. Like, wait,
Not sure
somebody.
if somebody is just pulling a fast one on us, like some prank call or.
Hrithik and Saif came on board, and we started talking about their characters, about Vikram and Vedha. They were bringing in so much of their life experience.
कभी ऐसा था कि बीवी की ही चलेगी and who takes it?
One day on shoot, when Gayatri had injured her leg, so she had to go to the hospital and come back. And for about 2 hours or something like that, like I was alone in the sense that there were 300 crew members, but I felt alone on the shoot because Gayatri was not there.
Okay, मतलब वो बढ़िया सी जुगलबंदी दोनों की चलती है आंखों ही आंखों में. Hi Pushkar, hi Gayatri.
Hi.
Nice to see you both today.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so many congratulations. पीछे विक्रम वेदा का पोस्टर दिख रहा है मुझे. Like it's all over the place right now and everyone is talking about the film currently. What do you have to say about the response that you are getting?
It's it's been mind-blowing actually. I mean, from the time we had the trial shows, we had a bunch of previews for industry people and friends from the media and supporters and all that, and the response was wild. And then once it released in the theaters, the response we are seeing from the crowd there just reaffirms a lot of things which we were betting on, that this kind of action would work, this kind of grittiness would work, large emotions would work. So yes,
and the twists and turns are also working brilliantly well. I mean, like every little reaction we were hoping for is actually happening. So that is very heartening. That's really heartening.
And at the end of it, this is a film which has a story which hopefully makes you think about certain things, the way we end the film. So people are doing that, and that for us is the most important, above and beyond all the glitz and the slow-mo and the introduction sequences and all that. At the core, there's a story, there's a strong point of view which we are trying to make, and looks like people are getting that. So that brings the big smile on our face.
Yeah, I can see that. And even I also watched the film 3 days back and I was blown away. That's the best way I can describe it right now. We reviewed the film as well. We absolutely loved it. We absolutely
thank you.
But did you both expect कि इतना अच्छा response मिलेगा?
No, actually, when you're making it, you're too involved with that. You don't actually think too much. I mean, you're just like, okay, you have to get this done. The mix needs to, okay, 1 dB has to be increased. You just get into that process. Only after that, when shows started happening,
I think everybody around us would have been thinking those things. But then when you're trying to finish the film and get it out, our only focus would be on getting the film to the best possible place it can be. And all those little things make a difference, and you're trying to fix all those little things so that it is presented in a certain way. Only after it is publicly screened, you start thinking, oh, okay, what is the audience reaction going to be? I know it's not the best way. You need to think about that a little earlier.
When those trial shows happened also, we were like, I mean, fingers crossed and just waiting outside the hall, like hoping people will like it.
Yeah. Okay. So when any film's remake is made, especially, बहुत direct comparison होता है, बहुत direct and clear comparison from the previous one. आप दोनों ने इस पर काम करने का सोचा कैसे? आपके मन में ऐसे, did you have any inhibitions about it? You know, if this is gonna work well in Hindi or not, and how people are actually gonna take it?
We took a long time to confirm that we are doing it. It wasn't an instant. The Hindi remake is happening, so let's get into that. बहुत सोचे थे उसके बारे में, and our key thing was we wanted to try something out where the text won't change, क्योंकि एक थोड़ा complicated plot है. If you change any one thing, then there are 10 other things which will need to change to justify it. And at the end of it, the plot is very important for what the film is trying to say. Each reveal builds up to the final reveal, and the final reveal is what is the message of the film as such. So there was no point in tinkering around with this or making cosmetic changes. we knew the only adaptation which we are going to do is Chennai से जब हम लखनऊ लेकर आते हैं ये story को, उसके लिए you will have to make some certain changes so that it is Lucknow, वो flavor ले आने का. So that was where we started off with, and our kick was how would a fresh set of actors interpret these roles, the way it is written, because I mean, as you know, you give the same role to two different actors, and you'll get completely two different characters on screen. So that was our joy. Let's see what happens with that. And I think when Hrithik and Saif came on board and we started talking about their characters, about Vikram and Vedha, they were bringing in so much of their life experience, both Hrithik and Saif. And by life experience, I don't mean having met a gangster, having met a cop. No, it's more to do with that emotion. Say Vikram's character, there's a frustration which builds up. How would Saif have handled that in his real life?
Or loss of a loved one, all those things, you know, how you bring it out.
And for Vedha, our central identity of Vedha is there is a inner calm, inner centeredness to Vedha. वो तो Hrithik उनके personal experience से लेकर आ रहे हैं वो centeredness. So these are things which great actors do. They go back into their life, their experiences, their emotions, and bring that to that character. So it's not just lines on a script. It is the emotions which are deep inside that person, no? And I guess that's why for us and hopefully for everybody, of these characters has worked.
Okay, so of course we are going to talk about Hrithik and Saif like in detail abhi thodi der mein. But I just want to know, why did you both choose Lucknow and Kanpur this time? Was there a specific reason on it?
So that also went through a process of where we are going to set the story. After a lot of discussion, it happened to be Lucknow and Kanpur, and we went there. We stayed a lot of time in both places, actually, primarily Lucknow and our trips to Kanpur also. Once we went there, we fell in love with the city and we said, like, yes, this is where the story has to
I mean, it
happen.
has so much texture, food and color. So we spent some time there to get the ethos of the place right. You know, that's very important to us, to root it properly. It shouldn't be just like set in Lucknow and has nothing to do with it. So that's why we hung out there.
The decision also happens because over the years, we have seen a lot of gangster stories set in Bombay. Then over the past 4 or 5 years, especially on OTT, we have seen a lot of gangster films set in Heartland, in smaller towns, in villages and stuff like that. But the idea of setting a gangster story in a city like Lucknow, which is urban, which is as big a city as any of the other big ones in the country. So that gives a completely new texture to the story. So it is an urban crime drama, but not the urban which is just defined by Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, and Hyderabad and Bangalore. This is it's an urban place which most of the country, I think, would like to see. I mean, hey, this is one of the grandest cities in India.
Yeah. I think, batao, very honestly, okay? Were you both like literal fans of Betal Pachisi in your childhood, or what was it like that? I mean, we all are, and we've all read the novels. We have all read the comics, of course. So, aap dono bhi fans rahe honge, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, actually fans, and but I mean, it started off like those regular, I mean, late night discussions. Most of them will lead to nothing. They'll just be like discussions, and we'll just sleep after that. So one of these things about like, you know, good and evil, and why is it always good against evil? What or black against white? What if we explore one character as you know, like who looks everything as black and white, and the other one who looks in gray? So that kind of felt interesting for us. So building on that idea, this then we thought of, we did read about this moral ambiguity kind of thing, and like that connected to Betal Pachisi.
If in fact, when we were growing up, comics like Amar Chitrakatha, there were actually a lot of comics which had stories from our mythologies, from our folklores, from our epics, from our history. And we all grew up reading that. I mean, I still remember going to this little library in our city It was called Murugan Ending Library. Me and my dad used to go, and both of us used to look at comics. I mean, there was obviously the Superman, the Spider-Man, and the Batman comics, the Marvel and the DC comics, which you used to pick up. But there'll be these big bound volumes of 2 years worth of Amar Chitrakatha, of a particular, like the Mahabharata. If you've seen the comic version of it, it's great. I mean, these are the stories we grew up on, either as comic books or as stories told by somebody. I mean, like usually there'll be like that one uncle, that one grandpa, one grandmom who will have that one story from the epic to say for every incident, right? So we've all grown up in families like that, where our moral stances were built by listening to these stories. Why Betal Pachisi made such a big impact on us is the fact that, like with actually most of our epics, it doesn't clearly define Vikramadityan is good and the Betal is bad. These are stories to be told, and then you are supposed to make up your mind about it. So, which I felt, I mean, both of us felt is very unique, that it is making the reader make the choice. Though it is a question asked to Vikramaditya, when you're reading it, you also are trying to make that choice. So that's where Betal Pachisi came in. And not just Betal Pachisi, I think almost everything we have been writing has been influenced by some folklore or the other.
Yeah, the series we've done for Amazon, that is also based on a local folklore, folklore, local myth. So that is some space which we really like exploring, mirroring that with contemporary stories.
And that's the space that we'd absolutely love watching also, and knowing more about it also. So that is definitely there, and we are definitely striking the right chord there. So since I'm talking to the blockbuster director couple today, I'm very curious to know, how does this companionship work? I mean, in terms of work, especially, kabhi disagreement hota hai, kabhi aisa tha ki biwi ki hi chalegi, and who takes it?
No, actually, we are pretty organic in the way we work. Bilkul jagda hi nahi hote. There's no fights between us during work.
I think we're too lazy to fight. I don't think we have that kind of energy to fight and like go all dramatic.
And we've been doing this for many, many years now. So like we are used to each other kinds. And more importantly, now we can't even imagine working alone. There was one day on shoot when Gayatri had injured her leg. So she had to go to the hospital and come back. And for about 2 hours or something like that, like I was alone alone in the sense that there were 300 crew members, but I felt alone on the shoot because Gayatri was not there. So somehow managed to camp through those 2-3 hours we were shooting with Saif that day. Managed to do 2-3 hours, and then like Gayatri got back and then like, okay, no, everything is fine. You become dependent on the other person being there, and
actually it makes life a lot easier. I mean, it reduces your work, decision making gets easy. We are bouncing boards, so
and decision making is basically that Gayatri look at me or I look at her, and we'll know, okay, this is the option to go. It's become all shorthands now. We don't need to articulate things in sentences and stuff like that.
Okay, मतलब वो बढ़िया सी जुगलबंदी दोनों की चलती है आंखों ही आंखों में.
Yeah, but it'll be mostly yes, no, maybe, and there'll be no, there's no like looking at no romance and all over there. It's all work.
Of course. So everyone loved the casting of the film. This one, Hrithik and Saif. Were they your first choices? Yeah, or bhi Bollywood actors ko you both were considering?
Actually, frankly, there were big lists which were drawn on who would be right for this, who would be right for that. But having said that, Hrithik was the first one who called us after seeing the film in 2017.
Okay. I mean, that was, pretty soon after.
At that point of time, there was no talk of doing it or anything like that. He had seen the film because somebody had recommended him to see the film. And right after seeing the film, he just picked up the phone, got our number and called us. We were at my cousin's some function and get a call from an unknown number. Hello, and hi, I'm Hrithik. I just saw the film. Like, wait,
somebody is just pulling a fast one on us, like some prank call or so we're like pretty.
So I think it's just destiny that it landed right back on his lap. And with both of them, with Hrithik and Saif, the moment they read the Hindi version, and every actor will want to know what's going to happen in this script, right? with the dialogues and all that. Both of them said yes immediately. There was no protracted delay in getting on to the project. So in that way, we are super thankful that they came on board.
And what incredible performance! Performance. So that
they brought their heart into it. So that we are blessed to have that.
Yeah, got into the skin of the character. So
yeah, when I was watching the film in the theater, in like every 10 minutes or 15 minutes, people were whistling. It was like that, and a whistle from here, from there, and people are going crazy because the screen presence is such, and of course they are coming with their action, like the best action possible, and the look on their faces, their eyes and everything. People are resonating a lot well with both of them. So that was an amazing thing to see. And the jugalbandi that they both had in the film is something crazy, and everyone was really looking forward to, watch that. So that definitely that was there.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me something. So when we look at any actor from a distance, in any of their films, that is something different. We make a perception on their performance and their screen presence and all. But when you actually get to work with those actors, some of the other quality of theirs can surprise you. So is there any particular quality of Hrithik and Saif that surprised you both?
Actually, Hrithik is like probably the most sweetest, like very gentleman. Like he's just ideal. I mean, proper. I mean, like he just scores 100 out of 100. I mean, nothing imperfect about him. So for him to get that wildness and that madness, this Veda has a lot of gray. So that just proves what a great actor he is. Because I mean, he's just.
And I think to answer your question. From the outside, when you look, I think everybody has that impression that actors are self-obsessed. I mean, that's what most people think, right? That they think only about themselves, kinds. Only when you actually interact with these actors, you'll know how generous they are. Generous with their co-actors, generous on set. Because I think that is an essential need for you to be a great actor. I'm not talking about a star. For you to be a great actor, you will need to have that generosity of letting other people play their part in the scene, not trying to dominate the scene. That's when the scene becomes richer. So when you're working with both of them together, say like the interrogation scene or something, there was always that time given for the other actor to get into that space. So the process is when you're ready for the shot, you've set up the camera, the actors are in their position and all that. And the first AD will call for roll camera and action, right? You need to give that moment for the actor to get into that moment, to get into that spirit of that character. And with different actors, it will be different speeds. Somebody might do it like that. Somebody might need that 3-4 seconds to get into it. Yeah. And it's key that you recognize that how much your co-actor is taking to get into that scene. That is one little example of the generosity which both of them had. So when both of them are in, that's when the first AD will call for action. So this makes them good human beings more than anything else.
Yeah. And I mean, their methods and process is so different and fascinating. So Saif, Hrithik is more method, and Saif is like, he'll be cracking up. He'll be like in some, he'll be chatty and all that. Suddenly, when you say, when a first AD calls for action, he'll just like hold the gun and like be so stiff and strong. Like, it's almost like he has split personality.
Yeah.
Switches, like with the switch, he will like just. Yeah. That was actually pretty awesome.
It's great fun working with actors who recognize their process, but it's also great fun working with somebody like Hrithik, who goes into detail of every little move which he's going to make, and somebody like Saif, who's spontaneous to the core. So you have people with completely different approaches to acting. Doing a scene together for a director, there's no bigger joy.
Yeah. So there's one more thing that I would definitely like to mention here is the music. The BGM kept the same, but what was the purpose behind it? Ki apne wo change nahi kiya from the last Vikram Vedha.
So everything has been reworked. So we kept the main tune of the theme music, not because just because it worked. For
Yeah.
us, in fact, when we started the Tamil version, this tune was composed pretty early on, way before we went into shoot and all that. And in our heads, that tune defines the story of Vikram and Vedha, the story of black and white versus gray.
Yeah.
So that was something which is indispensable for us. Like, I mean, we choreograph action sequences. So it is, if for people who understand music, it's in the timing called 6/8. Which is actually something which is very popular in Southern music as such. So that 6/8 beat had the right tempo for the story we are trying to say. In fact, you can take that music, put it on any scene in the film, and the cuts will match, the edit will match, because the film has been edited at that tempo of that 6/8 beat. So for us, that music is completely inseparable from this. He plays with that. What is the emotion being carried out between the two actors, and he'll run with it. So we can't imagine
Actually,
the OST of this without him.
The climax, when he did something, I mean, for the climax and played it to us, we were like super happy. I mean, that sounds like celebration. That's great. I mean, end of the film, it should be like that. So
yeah, that BGM is definitely the mood of the film, of course. And I think I have to say that especially the song Alcoholia, Hrithik was looking too funny with all those expressions on his face, and of course he was looking cute at the same time. So watching Hrithik dance like that was a for all his fans as well. So that is also there. One last question. Any other plans? जैसे आपने विक्रम वेदा किया हिंदी रीमेक, तो any other plans की कोई और तमिल फिल्म का भी आप लोग अभी दोनों अपने में प्लान कर रहे हो और हमें नहीं बता रहे हो, लेकिन कुछ चल रहा है कि हिंदी रीमेक?
Actually, अभी तो I think we're just going to go sleep for a little while.
Go have some home food and
go
sleep,
back to Chennai, have some home food and sleep for a little while. What we are going to do next, we really don't know. I mean,
we have to figure it out.
We'll have to figure it out. Those script hai, and we'll start tinkering and polishing those, and then figure out which one we want to do next. We are not in a hurry, and also it's we'll get to it as soon as we get to it.
You take your time, but we are definitely looking forward to it, because जब आप चीजों को टाइम लेते हो तो वो चीजें बहुत अच्छी निकल के आती हैं. So you both have a good sleep and then take your time and then come back with an amazing announcement for all of us. And we are definitely waiting for that. But thank you so much to both of you for joining us today. And it was lovely chatting with you both. It was as candid as I wanted it to be. And many, many congratulations once again for Vikram Vedha.
Thanks,
Sonakshi. Lovely talking to you.
Okay then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.